Welcome to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. Hi, I'm Reverend Jeannie Kataoka.
And I'm Al Yankee. Join with us for a deep dive into the inspiration and meaning behind the music of New Thought, as important New Thought artists share the story of their creative process and their spiritual journey.
Real Conversations is a rare opportunity to take a look behind the curtain to discover the connections between the stories, the music, the artists, and you. So let's dive right in to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. And we are so delighted today to be with Robin Hackett. So Robin, you want to say hi to our listeners?
Hello, listeners. This is Robin Hackett from New York City. Thanks for listening in. Yeah.
So right now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Robin. She's been singing, writing, and performing for as far back as she can remember. Doesn't want to say how long that is, but maybe we'll get that out of her. Starting out on piano and then adding guitar, which is when she began writing songs. Robin honed her crafts of writing and performing while living in New York City, where she is now as well. She has recorded 8 albums of original material. Her song Hard Left appeared on the CBS hit comedy How I Met Your Mother. She has shared the stage with Woodstock legend Richie Havens, as well as blues Americana singer Kebmo and soft rock songwriter, singer, pianist John Ondrasik, also known as Five for Fighting. She's known for and also delights in exploring and merging genres. Her catalog of music consists of pop, country, Americana, and jazz. Robin has come to recognize that many performers possess more than one creative talent, and for her other passion is writing. Her first book was a self-help book called Girl, You're a Grown-Ass Woman, Strong, Capable, and Worthy, which she followed with another self-help titled The Creative You, The Journey of Setting Her Free. Robin writes fiction too, the Blue Moon Cafe series that includes Didn't See That Coming and When Doves Fly. Additionally, Robin is a speaker and a creativity coach. So once again, Robin, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know, Robin, sometimes the folks we interview are well known to us, you know, maybe because they are from our neighborhood or our part of the world. You're on the East Coast, so less known to us before this. But I do have to say that in listening to your stuff and doing my homework and preparing for the interview, it was just such a joy to discover you, you know, and each new song that I listened to was like a gift to unwrap. I mean, I was actually socializing with Jeannie just yesterday, and she said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be such a joy, such a pleasure." And I know that's going to be the case for many of our listeners as well. So I think with that, I think we need to listen to something, and then we'll talk about it, as if that's okay with you.
That sounds great.
Okay, perfect. I think that where I want to start is the title track from Thankful I Am. So here it is. Robin Hackett, Thankful I Am.
Right through the storm, felt the wind upon my face, and all the while I could not help but see the life that lives and breathes in you and me. And I am peaceful, and I am grateful, and I'm thankful.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack there in that piece. Do you have any thoughts before I come in with mine?
Uh, yes. I mean, I can tell you about that song, which is actually one of my favorite songs, and it's one of my favorite spiritual practices when I can remember is gratitude. And so that song, I was living in Texas at the time, and I was sitting in my backyard. It was a beautiful sunny afternoon in Texas, blue sky, flowers blooming, everything was just gorgeous. And I was talking with a friend of mine, but we were in a mode and we were talking about how come this hasn't happened in my life, and I'm so upset this hasn't happened, and da 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 da, just complaining. And then when I got off the phone with her, I literally looked around at how beautiful everything was and where I was sitting in the backyard, and this song came out. So that's the background of that song.
Well, the your songwriting craft really shows up in there too. Maybe we can go into that a little bit more later, but your verses, like you just said, there was the sun and the rain and the eagle and the world around, which is the verse, and then you go to the chorus, and you go from the outer world to the inner world with the gratitude and the peace and the hopefulness and the soulfulness, and then the thankful I am.
Yes.
And I listened to this several times. I really liked it. And, that all is, for the casual listener, that's all anybody would ever need. I mean, it's a wonderful song on that level. But then there are these new thought allusions that kind of crept in there. The light that lives and breathes in you and me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And even the I am. Which I think you snuck some stuff in on us there.
I did. I mean, I couldn't, I can't help it because it's, but the philosophy that I follow. And so, yeah, I certainly had to talk about our oneness.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of it all. Yeah.
And then one other thing I noticed on repeat listening was actually when you say I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I say it normally, and I think when most people say it, it's I am.
Yeah.
And, Popeye even, I am what I am, it's, and then I just caught me, you're saying I am.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of the Y disappears and it becomes I am.
Uh-huh. I didn't even notice that myself.
Once you notice it, then it's like, but it flows so much nicer, and it's actually it's soft on the ear.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
Well, what's interesting for me is that when I get in the studio, and the way this was recorded was just marvelously, because it was a lot of people nowadays, they track, which means they record their song and they do the one instrument, then the next one all by themselves. But we did it within a circle, which is a way that people used to record a long time ago. So all the musicians sat in a circle, and then I sang. And so when you have that energy happening and you're kind of talking to each other and having conversation, then amazing things happen. Spirit really, really moves through everybody once you're all connected. And so that's probably how I ended up singing I Am that way, because I just felt the spirit move through, and that's how it came out.
Yeah. Wow. It's really beautiful. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That particular track actually had a really wonderful bass player, Chuck Rainey, who really just put the icing on the cake for me. And he has played for, name anybody, Aretha Franklin, Dolly Parton, the Beatles' first tour when they came to the United States way back when. And when he played for me, he actually just changed the whole feel of the song. And it was a very beautiful experience. So if you get a chance to look up Chuck Rainey, do look him up.
We will.
All right.
So the next choice is mine, and I know that this was, or at least I read that it was collaboration with Robert Mitchell, "Song of My Soul." And I think, like Al was saying about "Thankful I Am," there's a lot to unpack in those lyrics. So how did you collaborate? How did you come up with the lyrics?
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't know if you know Reverend Robert Mitchell. I'm not sure if he's even with us anymore. This was once again here in Texas. He wrote those lyrics,
Mm.
and I thought they were beautiful. And
Mhm.
I put the melody to that.
Okay. Love the
And
melody.
thank you for mentioning that song, because sometimes I write songs and I totally forget that I wrote them. I haven't performed that song in years, literally. So thank you for mentioning that.
Mm.
And now I think I need to go listen to it as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to do that right now.
All right.
My faith and my prayer has carried the night, and I, like a flower, have turned to the light. I dance in the garden of God's holy love. The dancer is dancing, the truth has been told. The song sings my soul of heavenly life. It sings of the love, it sings of the light. Each chord is the truth of all that will be. Music eternal, life lives in me. And the dance is my spirit, the song is my life. The music inside me sings God's delight. The word of my heart sings love's melody, the music of oneness of all that I see. I drink from the sunshine, the light from above, the light that's within me, the light of your love. And the dance is my spirit, the song is my life. The music inside me sings God's delight. The moon is inside me, a heavenly glow. It's love's reflection, the truth has been told. I sleep in the shadow of eternity. The dreamer is dreaming inside of me.
Yeah, that's lovely. And although I know you said the lyrics aren't yours, I was really caught by the idea of the garden of God's holy love, and I just got the picture in my mind of that. It was
Ah, yes, yes. And now I'm really sad to say that like I said, I haven't sung that song in a while, nor have I heard it in a while. But oh yes, those lyrics are beautiful.
mm,
I really played with those lyrics when I recorded that. I just really, you could feel the dance, you could feel the delight.
mhm.
God's holy love. Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
The music inside me sings God to life.
Yeah.
That one moved me, and the dreamer is dreaming inside of me.
Yes.
It's all also evocative. And yeah, and then I love that in at least in this recording, that you sing that lyric, "The dreamer is dreaming inside of me," and then there are no more words. I mean, there's some oohs and ahs and different things, but there it's like the dream has to continue in the music as for another few minutes, I think.
Right. You guys you've just awoken something in me. I do feel a little emotional. That song is beautiful, and I forgot about it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it's just a big love fest we're having here.
Wow, that brings up great memories. Thank you.
So you were mentioning, some of the musicians you have. You do have these recordings have really high production values, and great playing.
Yeah.
Is that all you? As far as putting it together, do you have help from certain people you go to? Anybody you like to talk about?
Oh boy. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I definitely have been blessed with some wonderful musicians, and there was a friend of mine, and I say was because he passed away last year, totally unexpectedly, really fast. And his name is Gian Piero Scudieri, and he had a studio out in the country. And he played so many instruments, so I could send a song to him. I could play a song for him on my guitar, and then I'd come back and he'd have piano on it, he'd have bass on it, he'd have the drums tracked, all this stuff. He was really fabulous that way, and I loved working with him. And he as I said, he passed away last year very unexpectedly, only 59 years old.
Oh gosh.
So really miss him a lot. But he was a favorite of mine, and a top-notch musician. Just wonderful. So you can thank him for those productions, some of them.
Well, he heard it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So here's another one from that same album, from Thankful I Am.
Mhm.
And it's Believe. So let's give that a listen, and then we'll chat about it, shall we?
All right.
So here we have Robin Hackett, Believe.
When I woke up this morning and I opened up my eyes and I stared out the window, and what to my surprise was a snow-covered hill and the earth standing still for all to see. And I said to myself, what a precious world I'm in, where each moment is a lifetime and a story can begin. And we have the vision, the light and the life that never ends.
Wow, you're showing us something different on this one, you know. This if I may give you a comparison, it reminds me of I mean, it made me think of Joni Mitchell with the wide intervals and the wide range and the melody that, you know, most people just wouldn't do,
Right, right.
you know.
Well, you just said who my idol is.
Oh, well, okay.
There you have it. That's my girl right there.
Yeah, your roots are showing, huh?
Yes, I absolutely love Joni Mitchell. I discovered her in college, and that's just my person. That's my person. And so I don't know if you noticed, but in that tune, there's a little bit of folk meets jazz, somewhat, which is I do a lot of that because I sing folk. I play the guitar. I'm a singer-songwriter, but I also grew up on jazz as well. And so I go back and forth between the two of them or sometimes merge them together. And believe that song was written, I was taking a class at the Center for Spiritual Living in Dallas, and we had to do a project for the end of the class. And that was my project as I wrote that. Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense because there's that lyric in there that just sounds like Ernest Holmes. It's we are the universal seed, and all this creation is born out of what we believe.
Whew. Yes, yes. Wow. You guys are, I don't know what's happening for me today, but it's just making me very emotional. I don't know why, but that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I was going to move on to the next song.
Okay.
Also from Thankful I Am. I think you collaborated with David White on this one called Flower in the Rain.
Yes. Flower in the Rain was written for my female friends at the time, very specifically. That was the inspiration of just how much, and this could be anybody, how much we go through and the challenges and the conflicts that we have, but we come out the other end. And the idea of a flower in the rain, you know, it rains on plants and flowers and and despite the wind and the rain and so forth, they still bloom anyway.
Right.
And so there's beauty in all of that. And so that's what that song is about.
And I was really entranced by, I'll call it the chord progressions in it. Al, who's a professional musician, might put it a different way, but just, you know, how the progression led the melody. It was just exquisite, I thought.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was somewhat of an influence from the gentleman, David White, who actually I was dating at the time, and he played guitar and mandolin, and he had there was definitely an influence. I don't know if you know Gillian Welsh, if you know that singer at all. Yeah, so somewhat of an influence from her in regards to those chord progressions. Yeah. So,
well, let's give a listen to "Flower in the Rain," performed by Robin Hackett.
Up from the ashes, awake from your sleep. Who'd have believed that you'd rise to see that it's all so perfect, the laughter and the pain, and there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. Well, I saw you wonder, and I saw you down, to think you were lost, but now you are found, and it's so amazing to see you again. And there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. winter. There lies the promise of spring, and teardrops are raindrops in season, and you're growing, and you're growing, and you're growing. Oh, so you stumbled, and I saw you fall, but look at you now, you've come through it all, and it's so perfect, the laughter and the pain, and there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. There's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. Yeah, yeah. There's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the
Yeah, that gives me, I would say goosebumps, but I have a friend who calls them God bumps. So either way.
I'll take God bumps. I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that song is surprisingly a favorite of people's. And I didn't, you write certain songs, oh, this one's really good. This one's really good. I didn't think of that one that way, but it tends to be a favorite that people love.
Well, I think because it's different, you have to hear it a few times before you could hum along or sing with it. But that's a wonderful challenge in itself. So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So we've got a couple of things going on here. We've got music, and we've got New Thought philosophy going on, and the kind of where those meet. Where did those meet in your experience? How did you get started in this?
Wow, this is such a fun story because I lived in New York City as a younger woman, and I used to love to go to Greenwich Village and go into bookstores, mom and pop bookstores. And I remember going into a number of different bookstores, but going into one particular bookstore and flipping through the self-help section and coming across the big book by Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. And I bought that book. And then I took it home and I started reading, and I go, oh my gosh, this is too much information. This is too heavy. So that I would end up giving it away. Then a few years later, I would end up in another bookstore. I think probably I went to Barnes and Noble and I found it in there. And I'm like, oh, this book, that's the one I bought before. Let me try this. And then I would get it and I'd go, too much. I just could not get it. I think I bought that book 3 times. 3 times and gave it away. Then I left New York and I moved to Texas. And my family lived there at the time. They had all one by one slowly moved to Texas. And so I was the last holdout and I moved there. And when I got there, I had no idea what I was going to do. So I just Googled Dallas musicians, and I came across this woman who actually was a mentor for Norah Jones, because Norah Jones is from Texas, from that area. And so we just connected, and I went to her house and hung out with her. And then a few weeks later, she contacted me and said, oh, by the way, I play at this spiritual center and the regular singer can't be there. Would you be interested in singing at this center? I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And so that's how it began for me. And I don't know if do you know Michael Gott?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So we've interviewed him.
Yeah, I took his place. I took Michael's place.
Oh.
Yeah, he was out.
What a great story.
It is a great story. And that's where it began for me. And then I ended up, Michael and I also wrote music together. We performed at CSL Dallas together. We also put together a Beatles tribute and performed that for a while. But that's how my story began with Science of Mind and New Thought.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this, you know, we've talked to a lot of musicians, and there, you know, there's similarities, but everybody's got their own particular story, you know.
Yeah.
People ask me how I got there, and I say I came in through the kitchen, you know. Just like any old musician, you know.
Yeah, so that's where my journey began, and that was, oh my gosh, that's probably 20 years ago.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to move on now to your next New Thought CD, the Anything is Possible, from the following year. You had a couple of busy years there.
Yes.
And let's just listen to the title track, shall we? Anything is Possible. What a great title. Here we go. Robin Hackett, Anything is Possible.
Suspend all disbelief and just dream. You might be surprised what you will see, 'cause anything is possible. Everything's right here. Anything is possible. It's perfect and it's real. Ooh, you hold your destiny in your hand. It's time you realize and take a stand, 'cause anything is possible. Everything's right here. Anything is possible. It's perfect and it's real. If you just believe, if you just believe, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So hold your vision in your heart, 'cause there's no better place to start, 'cause anything is possible. Everything's right here. Anything is possible. It's perfect and it's real. If you just believe. just believe, if you just believe, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Again, you're showing us something different. This really transports us. This piece takes us on a ride into ourselves. Suspend all disbelief and dream.
And you might be surprised what you will see. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I'd have to say for me, sometimes songs are just downloaded through me. Thankful I Am was a download. I didn't have to work too hard for that one. And Anything is Possible was a download, was probably done in about 20 minutes. Pretty much. With a friend of mine, when I moved to Texas, well, even before I moved to Texas, I had this romantic notion about New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was like, oh, I want to live there one day. I ended up singing at a center for spiritual living there, and I was rehearsing with their music director, Lydia Clark. And afterwards I said, let's write a song. And so I just started fiddling around with some chords, and then that progression came to me, and then the words just dropped in. They just kind of, I always liken it to, they were floating by and I happened to grab onto them. And Lydia also helped in, writing that song as well. And it is one of my favorite songs, and it's one of my songs that my friends always tease me with which they do with a lot of my songs. I might be in a complaining mode and say, well, how come this is working? Well, what about that song you wrote, Robin? Anything is possible. And I'm like, shut up.
Leave me alone.
Yes.
Well, I do. I also want to compliment you. I mean, you're really showing a lot of vocal chops here on this one. It's I mean, you're using the light kind of head voice a lot, and then you move right into the belt, and you wail away, and then just move right back into the easy part of it. Have you had a lot of vocal training?
Yes, and I teach voice lessons. I'd have to say, how do I describe this? Like one has songs downloaded to them, the lyrics, blah, 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 blah. Vocally, many times spirit sings through me. And it hits a sweet spot, and I just go off, and go off into, I don't know where, but it comes in that way. So I'd have to say, yes, I've had training, but I try not to manipulate things. And when I go into the studio or when I sing live, like Anything is Possible or any song that I sing live, you probably won't ever hear it the same way twice, because it depends on what the energy of the room is, how I am that day. It's just going to be experienced different all the time. And that's just spirit moving through me. If you stay tuned in, yeah. I feel like that happens to a lot of musicians or any creative person.
But you still have to have the instrument that spirit can move through.
That's true. That is very true.
But I think that's part of being a pro, is that you have the instrument, and then you can just do what needs to be done without a lot of thought, as you said, without manipulating it.
Yeah,
it just flows. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I took voice lessons. My parents put me in voice lessons when I was 15, and I did them through high school, through college, and I moved to New York and I did some there, and I even take voice lessons now. I still study.
It's like ballerinas, they're always taking classes.
Yeah. And then it keeps your, it keeps your instrument healthy. It keeps it well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. So I get to pick. I picked the next song, "Coming Round." You collaborated with Steve Curry on that. And if I don't come right back after we listen to it, it's because I'm up dancing. So, so let's listen to that, and then we'll come back and chat about it.
all right.
It's "Coming Around" by Robin Hackett.
I know you've been lost and wondering, will things ever turn around? I know it looks dark and dreary, but don't you worry, there is something coming round. And I know I've been there, with some things in the air, when you can't see through all the grays and blues. But I am here to say, you will find your way. There is something coming around. Do-do, 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 do-do. And when you're looking for direction and you cannot hear a sound, I know it can be confusing, but if you hold on, there is something coming around. And I know I've been there. Something's in the air when you can't see through all the grays and blues. But I am here to say, you will find your way. There is something coming around. Do-do, 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 do-do. Nothing ever stays the same. The only constant thing is change. Coming around, and I know I've been there. Something's in the air when you can't see through all the grays and blues. But I am here to say, you will find your way. There is something coming round. And I know I've been there. Something's in the air when you can't see through all the grays and blues. But I am here to say, you will find your way. There is something. There is something. I know there is something coming round. Coming round. Coming round. Coming round.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a great tune. So Steve Curry used to be the guitar player at Center for Spiritual Living, Dallas. And so he and I would get together and try and write tunes. And he's a wonderful guitarist, I play guitar, but he's like fabulous. And so he would just come up with these riffs, and then I would, meeting the chords,
Mhm.
and then I would just throw some melody and the lyrics on top, and that's how that song was born. Like, he would just give me a chord progression, and he'd go, "Here, take this home," and then I'd take it home and come up with melody and the lyrics and everything. And so that's how that song was born.
It's a fun one.
Mhm, mhm. And it's a reminder too that whenever we feel like we're in stagnation and nothing's happening, that really something actually is happening.
Yes.
And it's guaranteed that, something new is going to come about. Pretty much, I think it's guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think you said it in there. It said the only constant thing is change. That's the one that I loved in there, when I stop dancing.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So moving on, another selection from Anything Is Possible is Love Is What We're Here For.
Yeah.
Let's listen. Here's Robin Hackett, Love Is What We're Here For.
We are all just mirrors, and your faces I see clearer, clearer than I've ever seen before. The heart is where to live from, to give all you can give from. This is what I truly know for sure. And love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Love, 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 I said love, I'm tired of all this anger and my own unkind behavior. Who am I to judge anyone at all? 'Cause if I look into you, I can see the pain you've been through. And I know 'cause I've felt the same way that you do. Love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Love, 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 love. I said love, 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 love. I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument of my love. I said love, 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 love. I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument of my love. I said love, 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 love. I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument
Well, you know, more surprises. You are just chock full of surprises. You know, I mean, I really love the song. I love the song's message, and we can talk about that. But I just have to talk about some of the music stuff in there. You know, you've got in the verse, you got this pedal point thing going on with the chords moving over the top, and that's so. I don't, you know, I can hear that all day long. I just love that. It's one of my favorite things.
Me too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
probably most people don't even know what that means, so I can tell you're truly a musician.
Well, for anybody who's scratching their head, it's when the bass note just stays the same and everything moves over the top of it.
Yes.
For a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did what's called a drop D tuning
Okay.
Yeah.
on the guitar. So that's what caused that. And it really, the song itself is very, very simple. It's very simple in terms of chords and so forth. That song I wrote, you know, I don't know. I guess both of you are creative on some level. As a creative person, there are times when I think, oh my gosh, not another song's going to come out of me. I can't find another lyric. You know, I can't find another word, another poem. There's nothing. It's all dried up and gone. And I kind of had gotten into that mindset. And so then I would not pick up my guitar. I wouldn't go play the piano. And I'd keep going, well, how come nothing's coming through? What's going on? So one day I decided, okay, you have to at least show up with your guitar. So I did. I showed up. It was probably like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night with a little glass of red wine,
Just
my guitar. And I said, okay, Spirit, God, universe, what message needs to go out into the world? And so that song.
Nice. Well, you know, but the surprise that I was talking about was right at the beginning. Okay, it carried on through, but it was the strings.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, not on any of the other recordings I hear, but here all of a sudden now we've got this beefy low strings sound, you know.
Yes. So what happened is that I had another friend, Tom Prasanna Rao, who's a wonderful singer-songwriter and a producer as well. And I took the song to him. I had one more verse I needed to write, and Tom helped me write the last verse. And he just took the bare bones of that song, and he said, well, hey, well, he plays fiddle, he plays viola as well. And then he called a friend in who plays cello. And we did it all. It wasn't planned. I went to his house probably like at 7 o'clock at night, and he started hearing strings, and he goes, let me put this on. Then he goes, let me call so-and-so. And so he called her. Deirdre is her name, and she plays cello, and he's like, are you available right now? And she's like, yeah, I'm available. So she popped in, and then we added bass with my friend Jonathan Fisher. We didn't have that planned either. He happened to be available. He popped in, and we created that song. Tom really put those strings together, and it was just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, but there's even more. I'm going to go on. You know,
okay.
But there's some pedal steel in there.
Yes, that's Tom.
Okay, just really beautiful on that. And then the other thing that I didn't notice until I was just listening just before we started here, and I started paying attention to the bass drum and how it's used. And you know, it's there's not a lot of drums in this, which makes the bass drum even more prominent. It's almost like doing, you know, what you might expect in if it was a more drummy kind of a piece, which it's not. But you'd expect drum fills, you know. But it's just almost just a couple little things on the bass drum, and I don't know if it's live or if it's a synth patch, you know.
Yeah, it's a synth pad. Yes,
it's a really nice one. It's good, you know.
I'll tell Tom. I'll let him know.
Yeah, it's a really great choice of patch, you know, and really superb job of programming it. You know,
Yeah.
It's still very musical. You know,
He is really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that song is really besides Thankful I Am, that song has really been my theme song. We talk about love is what we're here for, and a lot of times we think, yes, how much love can we give to other people? But the other side for me is that it starts with us first, and then goes outward. So yes, that's been a journey, the journey to self-love, and then letting that overflow to other people.
Yeah, that journey to self-love can be a tough one.
Yes, it can.
So moving on, our last choice, and I saw the name of it and it didn't really register. And then I heard the intro and I said, wait, that's a Gary Lynn Floyd intro. Just that simple piano, Spirit's Prayer. So let's listen to that and then we'll chat about it. So here's Spirit's Prayer, performed by Robin Hackett.
Loving Spirit, dwell in me. This is my divinity. As we
That's just a big just because your voice in that, like I was talking about earlier, is just so sweet. So I mean, it just is exactly what that song needed. It was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. That song, I was once again taking a class at Center for Spiritual Living Dallas. And we were talking about the Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And for some reason, I got the idea in my mind, let's do like a new thought version of that.
Mm.
And so Gary and I, because Gary used to live in Dallas as well, that's where I met him. And we used to get together and write as well. And we would meet at Center for Spiritual Living. They allowed us to go in there and certain days and just write. And I said, how about we, do a new thought, Our Father. And so that's how that song was born. And yes, that is definitely a Gary Lynn Floyd with the got that, definitely got that. We wrote a few lines of it and sang it, and I still have the recording. And I was just in an interview with him probably last month, and we sang the first few lines, and because we didn't have more, but we sang the first few lines, and we both were crying at the end. And then we finally completed the song, but it was so emotional for both of us, and very poignant and very sweet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's our next guest. So
Yeah.
we'll be talking about his new CD. So
Wonderful.
So do you have what we always call this the secret question, but if anybody who listens to our podcast, it's not so secret. But do you have a favorite song that you would like us to play?
Oh, you mean other than the ones that you have played?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me think for a minute. You know what? You've taken the ones that I absolutely love. Thankful I am, and love is what we're here for. Oh, you're putting me on the spot, and anything is possible. Oh, the pressure. Oh, the pressure. Wait, wait. Oh, I have a song called Certain People.
Okay.
And that song, I found the title of that once again in a bookstore in New York City. And it was the kind of bookstore where you could walk in, but you couldn't walk down the aisle. Two people could not get down the aisle at the same time. And there were books way high up all around. And I am very attracted to book covers and textures and colors. And there was this book, it was purple. And I pulled it out, and in the middle of it, in a rectangle, was the title Certain People. And I really, really loved the way the book felt, but I loved that title. And I was like, what's this about? And I opened it, and it's short stories about certain people. But the song Certain People is about being a certain person in the world and being intentional in how you're living your life, being certain. So that's the song Certain People.
All right. Well, we'll go out on that. But before we do, if any of our listeners want to find out more about you or what you're up to, or find your music, where should we send them?
You should send them to www.robinhackettmusic.com.
And any projects or anything coming up, any books or anything in the works that maybe they should look for?
Oh, yes, I do have a new CD coming out called You're Not Alone. And it will be out August 4th. So if you go to my website, just sign up to be on my email list to make sure that you stay up to date on when that comes out. And that is a compilation, which I split into Volume 1 and Volume 2. It is 16 songs that I've recorded through the years, but never released. And so I decided to throw them on to an album.
Perfect. Well, it's been such a pleasure, Robin. getting to know you, getting to know your music, and hearing your thoughts. I really want to say thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
thank
both
you.
for having me. Really, I enjoyed it. It's always fun talking to people. Always fun.
All right, so we'll go out on Robin Hackett, Certain People.
Well, he walks like he knows every secret, and he talks like his life's on the line, and he never gives into the contrary motion that leaves some of us spinning behind. And she stands with her boots pointed forward, and she finishes all that she starts, and she won't be content till she's one of those people whose arms reach on up for the stars. And certain people are not quite at home on the ground, and certain people never blend into a crowd. Certain people. And when he walks in a room with no windows, he carries in his own light, and he makes the world seem like there's nothing between what you want and what you make with your mind. And certain people are not quite at home on the ground, and certain people never blend into a crowd. Certain people. So I vow to walk straight like an arrow, and I promise to speak like I know, 'cause I'm tired of being like all of the people, uncertain of where they could go.